Oh, turtle time, we're so happy to watch Bravo shows with our little turtle cuties and Villa Rosa VIPs. We love you all and wish you happy holidays this time of year. Thank you for being with us for Turtle Time. Well, Alejandro Iñárritu is back. After flying high with Birdman for Oscar Gold, it looks like he's going low now into the ground with Digger starring Tom Cruise. This movie looks really cool. Amy, what the hell were you thinking when you saw this trailer?
Who's digging what? It's like a Holes sequel.
Yes.
Digging up holes.
Totally. I gotta say, you and I watched this sort of on a bit, we both were watching this trailer and I was like, I gotta say, I'm confused. I love Iñárritu. I love him. I think about him all the time. But what the hell was this trailer? Tom Cruise, you don't even see him and he's hanging around with a shovel, spinning it around. And it says, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Digger. And then the movie is named, I think his name is Digger Rockwell, right?
It's a dark comedy. I think, what did Tom Cruise's post said? It was like a comedy you can't even believe or something.
Yeah, he said it. Yeah, he said, I was kind of shocked, to be honest. You got to trust Iñárritu with your whole heart. Birdman, Revenant, Bardo. But I think that Tom Cruise obviously wanted to work with maybe an auteur, and he was led to believe that Iñárritu was an auteur. So he's
obsessed with him.
He is? At
that Oscar speech, he talked about him like 400 times. He's obsessed with that movie he did in the 90s. What's it called? Amores Perros.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Tom Cruise always talks about that film?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Well, good. Stars aligned. I was like, I don't want to keep saying it or whatever, but I was just like, this trailer. Tom Cruise is wearing a full, I think, outfit, and he has a big gray wig on, similar to Shep in this week's episode of Southern Charm, and he's just dancing and singing to a shovel. I was like, oh my God, you really have to have a lot of faith in Iñárritu to think that this is going to be good.
It says, his caption was, "In Digger We Trust, Digger, a comedy of catastrophic proportions."
Oh. It says he's the world's most powerful man, racing to prove he's humanity's savior as his own chaos unravels. All right.
I mean, hey, I'll be seated.
Me too. I can't wait. Well, congrats to Tom Cruise. You pulled the rabbit out of the hat again.
I hope that David Zaslav regrets the day he was born by how annoying Tom Cruise will be about the theatrical release. So I guess that's Ted Sarandon's problem now.
Oh, you're saying how pissed. Oh, you're saying Tom Cruise is going to unload about theatrical shit with Warner Brothers once he gets a whiff of what's going on. When he gets back to
He'll rip them a new asshole.
I bet a new leak will come out on the set of one of his films, and he'll be like, "I love movies, and I care so much, and I'm so passionate about them, and this theatrical stuff is so important." You know what I mean? Like one of those
a classic ranting like that.
One of his horrible, mean-spirited rants at the crew where he just appears like a perfect person and really fun. Oh, not to switch gears or dig another hole next to the Digger hole, but did you see this Disclosure Day trailer?
Oh yeah, I saw a tweet that says it looks like Steven Spielberg made a J.J. Abrams movie, and now I keep thinking that.
That's interesting. Because J.J. Abrams is an acolyte of Spielberg, and his movies were so reminiscent of the Spielberg energy. And now you're sort of like, what the hell? Is it quite possible that that he sort of it's been so what's that called?
The tables have turned.
Yeah, there's some tables have turned. He's approximated it so much that now you could be like, oh my God, this looks like he's doing what's that movie that had that shaky camera where a big monster was going around?
Yeah.
Close.
What is that?
Cluster. Cloverfield.
No,
Cloverfield. And then it was, remember, and then we got those different iterations of it. It was like anything could be Cloverfield.
Yeah. But I'm obsessed with Josh O'Connor. So again, I'll be seated.
Great. Well, movies are good and they're back. I think they've been, everybody's been having fun with movies.
Don't you think we've had enough Emily Blunt at this point? She's in like
Oh.
every other movie. It's like, can you just relax?
Oh, really? Emily Blunt from A Quiet Place. You're tired.
Quiet Place, Smashing Machine, Jungle Cruise,
I like Emily Blunt, but I haven't seen her in all these
Oppenheimer.
possible misfires that you've seen her in. You know what I mean?
Not
I haven't.
misfires. I'm just like, all right, like it just seems like all these directors are so obsessed with her, and I'm like, I need a break.
Really? Wow. Well, see, what
Yeah.
I'm saying is that I haven't had that. I didn't see Smashing Machine. I haven't seen Quiet Place. I haven't seen the movies Jungle Cruise. So I still think of her as a rare, fun, random casting. Remember her in Edge of Tomorrow?
That was so long ago.
Yeah, but that's the last time I really got a huge whiff.
She's going to be in Devil Wears Prada too.
Oh.
I feel like she's in more movies than Nicole Kidman at this point.
And you're saying that the star power is not there to sustain this kind of
I'm just like,
run.
all right, it's fine.
Wow. All right. Okay. All right. Starting out 5 minutes in, controversial take. I could maybe I'm not like, I don't think she's like the coolest person I've ever seen in my life, but I don't have that same, response where I'm like, get her off my damn screens. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, she's in my one of my least favorite power couples, so I'm sick of their whole enterprise.
I have to always remember about not liking John Krasinski anymore. I always am shocked because I don't think about him very much. Yeah. But
have we talked about that? Manchester by the Sea was originally written. The concept was by John Krasinski and Matt Damon.
No.
And they handed it. It was going to star
Yeah.
Matt Damon, and then they handed it over to Kenny, and he was like, "I'll take it from here, thank you."
That's awesome. I knew Matt Damon was involved, and I had no idea John Krasinski was formative in that. I mean, well, that's a win.
Boston boys.
That's a win.
But he's strayed so far. Now he just plays like army guys.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, John Krasinski, Emily Blunt, what's going on there? But I feel great. Well, I don't feel good, but I think that it's just, I'm kind of swept up in, Iñárritu and that other stuff. But I think now I was thinking maybe, I'm glad we covered those films, Disclosure Day and Digger. But did you see, I think you'll find this pretty interesting. A lot of news started bubbling up since we last spoke in the Bravo realm. I wouldn't say it's good news. I wouldn't say it's very interesting in any way, but I was scrounging, to get some news. Were you?
I know what you're going to say, and I think it's interesting.
Joe Gorga having
not that one.
Joe Gorga's Christmas plans. Let me just get this one out of the way. Joe Gorga has Christmas plans with Teresa. They asked him, what are you guys going to be doing now that you have formed, a family bond again for real true-hearted reasons? And he goes, we're going to have the Feast of Seven Fishes at my house. We've been doing this up until the point where we had the biggest rift. And now finally I get to bring Teresa back. And Teresa apparently cooked 3 of the 7. So they had been blowing it, so to speak, with a bunch of horrible, horrible fish. Because Melissa, I guess, I don't know what was going on there. But he goes, now we've got all 7 fish back: bacala, clams, mussels, pasta with seafood, and then fried calamari. So you should see the video of this. He is so, how Joe Gorga has a lot of energy. He's so excited to have this Feast of 7 fishes back in his family. So that'll be interesting to see photos from that.
They should need to pick up cameras immediately. I'm Italian. I should be doing that. I love seafood more than anything.
You should.
I don't know why I don't demand that for my birthday dinner.
You should. I think one year you should throw your family a curveball and say, let's do the Feast of 7 fishes.
I better count 7.
And no trying to get away with it where it's like cod and then fried cod or whatever. You know what I mean? It's like, no.
I mean, they could make it easy. It could be shrimp cocktail. You can get it at Costco. You could do caviar. That counts. Fish eggs.
And you've got 2 of the 7 done.
Oysters. Oh, that's kind of hard at home. Whatever, you're going to shuck them.
Speaking of oyster shucking, I
It's
can't wait
relevant.
to talk about Southern Charm. Oysters? Oh, no. What about, do you like fried calamari?
I don't really eat that. I feel questionable about eating the poor octopus. It feels akin to eating a pig. They're very smart.
I see. Okay. Well, that makes sense to me. Okay. Well,
And I don't like die for the flavor anyway, so it feels like an easy choice.
Yeah, I don't die for the flavor either. I don't even really die. I don't die for any of these flavors, to be honest. I love salmon. Like, can we just talk about some fish for a second? I like salmon the most out of all of them by far.
Tilapia.
Tilapia, I like it fine. I think I'm not seasoning it correctly. If I'm letting a fish into my house, if I'm letting
snapper.
No, if I'm letting a fish in my house, it's got to be salmon. And I have
Wild
3
caught?
different ways to cook it. You know what? I like fried cod. That's why I brought it up. The cod fillets from Trader Joe's. I'm only speaking. What's your, if you eat fish so much more than me, why the hell am I blathering? What do you eat fish wise?
Love it all. I love
Really?
I love sashimi. Ooh, I could do that for the Feast of the Seven Fishes.
That's fun because
sashimi platter.
You're going easy on your parents. It's like, make me the Feast of 7 Fishes now, damn it. But you're like, here's 3. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it could be like 7 different types of sushi and then you're done.
Yeah, where does salmon... So, sorry to go back to salmon, but where does salmon rank? Because you know fish so much better than me. Where is salmon hitting?
I like it. It just... I feel like it's so commonplace that I get a little sick of it because it's always the thing that usually if places have fish, that's the option, you know?
Of course. So if I was trying to introduce a new fish to my family and I had access to at Trader Joe's, which one should I sort of start to try to, bring into the house, do you think?
I have this really good Parmesan tilapia recipe.
Really?
Yeah.
How is it? Is it easy to send?
Totally. But it sounds disgusting when you describe it because you put mayonnaise on it.
Oh no, that sounds great. No,
but it just makes it moist.
Oh no, I that's great. No, you should see this kind of shit I'm doing with the salmon. I was about to tell you, I have 4 different recipes for salmon. One of them I think has mayonnaise all over it. Is it Parmesan encrusted?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it has like panko or anything, but it's literally just like seasoning, mayo, and parm. So I need all my recipes to be like 1 pan, 1 and done. I can't be doing bowls and measuring, and it's just not going to happen. So
absolutely, you're kind of like you could say you're Charlie in Southern Charm, kind of, because we see a little peek into her cooking, right?
Yeah, she doesn't know shit about the kitchen.
Absolutely not. Okay, so well, that's good. I mean, congratulations to Joe, Melissa, Teresa. I can't wait to see how that pans out. And then you. And then you kind of were excited about a news story. I got to know what was sending you kind of through the roof before we got into that Joe feast.
Well, there was a headline. I sent it your way. Let's see. I just want to confirm the source. Oh, guess what? Queens of Bravo. As if I could look anywhere else. Although it's from Page 6. She just did the digging. According to Page 6, NeNe Leakes is in negotiations to return to Bravo on Real Housewives Ultimate Road Trip, which is set to film in January 2026. So next month, that could be huge. I don't care as much about the road trip show, but that's a huge, breaking down of the wall between a banished cast member.
Yes. And you would really think possibly that the lawsuit and what was alleged would have been the breaking point for Bravo. They'd be like, what the hell? I mean, no matter what you think of the claims, it's just like, obviously we can't do business together. You hated it. But if this is true, I mean, it got reported by Queens of Bravo, but as well as Page 6, which I think is, decently reputable. They have inside sources. So that would be huge. That would be the entree. Sorry, I'm still thinking about food, into the Bravo universe, again, in a way where it's like you test the waters. That's what they kind of did with what was the season 2 that I loved, where everybody had to go to the Berkshires again. It was called Ex-Wives Club. And it was just sort of just to see, do people like Vicky again? Do people like Tamra again? So this would be wonderful. And I don't give a shit about the lawsuits. I hope that you guys resolve that internally. And we want NeNe back as fans. Yeah, I don't care. I don't care what bridges she burned in terms of the business. I just want her back as a fan. And if she made her way back onto Atlanta, that's obviously.
I know. I'm trying to even imagine that dynamic. I don't even know how that would work anymore. Don't you feel like would it even be possible for her to come back there?
I don't know. It's always hard when a major OG comes back because then they're all deferential. There's people trying to test that OG and be like, "This is my show now." I don't know, but the way the way Atlanta was, I think last season, I think that they could do almost anything, and it would be better. Oh, but what did you? I know you didn't say. You said who cares about this concept, but ultimate road trip. Getting away from Girls Trip, it's like another way to sort of offshoot and have this idea of combining cast members from different franchises. It says they go through various cities as they make their way across the country, stopping at some of the most memorable locations in Bravo history.
What does that mean?
Like, I was trying to think, like, what are locations? Like, I guess
The Quiet Woman.
Yeah, I guess you could go to Quiet Woman. I guess you could go to the Berkshires. Like, it would have to be really high-level locations. It couldn't be somewhere where someone just took a trip, like in the United States.
Right. Well, I guess they could go to, like, Miraval or, because then they could just show clips of when Housewives went before, but that's not that exciting. I don't know.
Yeah, interesting. But guess what? Vicky apparently let it slip in this press run that she's doing that she's one of the road trip members. So you've got NeNe and Vicky already. Wow. Who else could you imagine?
That's fun.
Great.
Yeah, I don't know. It's probably no one can top those two.
No one could, and no one could even guess more than just those two. Who knows? Okay, speaking of kind of weird stuff in terms of Bravo, like people doing different stuff than what you'd expect, Page 6 had another huge bombshell report that just came out as of like an hour ago. This is crazy. Jacqueline Larita from New Jersey. I haven't seen her in 8 years, they say. Yeah. She apparently made a huge life move to Vegas first, and then now she's got kids in the OC, and she's moved to OC, and apparently she kind of wanted to just start hanging out with OC cast members. They have this shared Bravo universe, all these ties, and they might be approaching her as a friend to be on the OC. What do you think about that?
I mean, it's interesting. Is it something we need? I don't know. But it's interesting that they're starting to just take down all the boundaries and start mixing and matching, sliding across the cities. But I'm like, she was never...
Yeah, and no offense, and I don't want to say this I'm not going to say it too strongly, but yeah, I didn't really think that there was some huge clamoring. If you're a Jacqueline Larita head, let us know. It didn't really work out for Taylor Armstrong, which I would think that they were sort of in the same vein in a way. They're not like huge, gigantic fan favorites that people are begging for. So I don't know. It would just be kind of, I guess, a fun little surprise to see Jacqueline pop in and just see what she's up to. But I wasn't very excited by this, news. That's why I said some of the news was kind of shitty.
Mid. Yeah. No, they should have just had her come through for like a dinner or something. It doesn't need to be a whole thing where we're like anticipating her joining, Just have it be like when Brandy got dinner with Kristen Takeman or whatever, just cruising through, a little fun surprise.
I agree. Completely like that. Just whatever that, yeah. Just be like, hey, this is my friend Jacqueline. And then just talk to her for a second. Great. All right. Well, I don't have any more news than that. Amy, do you?
No, I think we have Santa senioritis.
Oh, you mean like when you hear his bells a-clanging and you hear those hooves of...
bells somewhere that I feel like I could hear them?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, what do you... hold on one second. Yeah, you mean when you hear hooves a-clomping and you hear bells? You heard that right. It's time to move on. We hear hooves a-clomping and Santa's bells a-clanging, and it's time to move on now because we have Santa senioritis, as Amy said. Let's talk about Southern Charm first.
Yes.
I actually thought that both of these episodes were wonderful. I was surprised.
I enjoyed myself.
I felt like Santa was coming down the chimney giving us 2 gifts of good episodes for once. No, this always happens. Southern Charm was called Loose Lips and Deep Riffs.
Yeah, I feel like Loose Lips is a common well they go back to.
Oh, totally.
Loose lips, sink ships, sink friendships.
Loose lips, sink friendships. Loose lips sink trips. They've
That's
done
good.
before. You know what I mean? Like when they're on a trip and
Yeah.
someone starts to have loose lips. All right. This
Yeah.
episode was fun as hell, and it has one of my favorite conceits in all of Bravo, where it's one party is interesting enough to sustain it for the entire time. I love it.
Mhm.
I love it every time it happens, especially if it justifies itself, and this one does. I got to start it out, though, the episode. It starts out with a little bit of lawyer humor, which I know, Amy, you loved. Whitner's at his office. I think it's called Solvang Law. And he goes, excuse me, what's more lawyerly than shredding papers? And the receptionist goes, nothing. And he goes, especially when they're discovery requests that I'm not going to answer. And she goes, that would require billable hours. And they both have the biggest lawyer laugh I've ever seen in my life. I was like, could you believe, like, I was just so, I've never heard lawyer humor like that.
She really got him.
Yeah, he was doubled over. He goes, I can't even shred the paper. I can't even shred these discovery requests. Do you know enough about lawyer stuff to know what that meant?
I thought she was ribbing him for not having billable hours, but I didn't rewind to hear it again.
I think that maybe she meant, that would require billable hours. Yeah, I didn't get it either. Lawyers, if we have any lawyers, listening, Turtle Time listeners, I want to know, was this sort of the repartee you're used to in a law office? I just thought, like, I've never heard jokes like this before. And so it was really kind of, refreshing to hear what's kind of, popping around in this kind of environment. Anyway, we get to Patricia's house. This is where the real episode starts. And Randy kind of commits a lot of butler missteps immediately. It's 5 p.m. and he starts to ring the gong, and he bangs it so damn hard that it crashes into the wall. And Randy actually gets scared for a second from how hard he banged it. And they kind of give him a sloppy butler edit for the entire time. They compare him to Michael,
He could never compare. She asks him to move some candles. He tries to move candlesticks, and she's like, oh, not those. And he's like, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, and he's just sort of like bumbling around, and they have a little bit of a comedy where he's like, he almost drops them, and he has to juggle them back in place or whatever. And she goes, no, the decorative ones. And he goes, oh, God, I'm so sorry. And then he gives her the martini, and they give this big comical slurp, and she doesn't give a huge smile like it's, like it's not nearly as good as what she used to receive. So Randy's kind of, yeah. And we already talked about the time he blew it with the iPad stuff.
Oh, yeah, that was terrible. So then Madison joins. She gets a sweet tea, and they talk about pregnancy, giving birth, breastfeeding. Patricia's like, I was one and done, and breastfeeding is my idea of hell. So, like, was never doing that shit again.
Yeah.
And, they're just gabbing. They're talking about the Sally, Charlie, Craig love triangle. And then they get into a little bit that Craig is still heartbroken.
Yeah.
From Paige.
Yeah. Madison diagnoses this as a broken heart. She goes, there's all this weird stuff he's doing, pretending he likes Sally and Charlie and crying and screaming. It's all because Paige broke his heart. So she's filling in Patricia on this stuff. Patricia can't be out of the loop too long. But then now, just that was that. That was that. Goodbye. Now it's the party. Getting ready for this huge Memorial Day party that Craig is going to have. The first party he's thrown at his house, I think, since Paige, and he wants everything to be perfect. His table has a bunch of sort of mold or something growing on it, like a weird, fuzzy, green-gray mold. And he asks, what's his assistant's name, Jack? Oh, sorry to ask. I think it's Jack. He goes, can you power wash the shit out of this thing and get all this mold off the top? I think it'll be much better for the DJ booth for him not to have to set it up in this kind of messy environment. What did you think about that?
I love a power washer. Very satisfying.
Would that have gotten everything on his patio completely soaked?
He would probably want to do it in advance.
To allow a little bit of time to dry. I was just worried. I kept thinking of like cartoons or whatever, where the person who would have the power washing thing and they'd be like, lifted up and flying, and it would go towards his windows and stuff. And it's, what I mean? Anyway, but you're right. It's probably easy to just do and then have it dry naturally.
Yeah, it was really hot, so I think they'll figure it out.
Right.
This is where he talks about that Paige elevated his, he was the social chair of his sorority I shudder to think. And he said that Paige elevated his parties, and he now has to figure out how to do it without her. And he's talking to his assistant. He's like, I want to host so bad, but I guess I'll let the yard be the host. People can pick peppers if they want, and there's honey for the custom cocktails. And I was like, who's going around picking peppers at a pool party? Like, what are you talking about?
I thought the same thing. I kind of felt bad for him. You know, he's clearly out of his depth in planning a party. But I didn't really know it yet. Let the yard be the host. Like, you mean
Like,
you're kind
people
of
could just do whatever they want?
you're hands off, and you're kind of like, maybe you give them cues with your eyes to like go towards the pepper patch, but it's like,
no, the bees, the bees.
he's just like, let the yard be the host, meaning like it's a lot of it's riding on just them experiencing sort of picking those peppers.
I did love, he said all of that. And then the second that Madison gets there, she's like, wow, how the mighty have fallen. Without Paige, this party looks like shit.
Yeah, that was sad, but you could tell because he was stuffing. I'll just say it now. He put a bunch of pool noodles where the water's supposed to flow out from the hot tub, and it looked really
Pure
weird.
trash.
Yeah, it looked like one of those inflatable, car wash mascots, and it looked like shit. And then, yeah, what are they gonna do? Get that honey? Like how? Like that would be crazy to go be like, I need honey for my cocktail.
Everyone has to put their drink in the hive.
Yeah, that's funny. And then and then he goes, but I got a pina colada station, and they show a kind of a cute moment if you like Charlie and Craig's relationship. She goes, I love pina coladas, and so he got a station to make them, which will come into play a little later.
Huge moment.
Oh, and what about this moment? He also says, and I got trop hop for Austin because I know that's the only stuff he drinks. I feel bad for yelling at him.
Well, more to come on that because it will not be drunken by Austin.
No. And nobody else is going to drink it.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
I've never had it. Have you?
No, I really want to. I don't think it makes its way. It's like In-N-Out. It's like regional.
He's got to figure that out.
Yeah, get us a little bit of it. Okay, Vanita house?
Yeah, Vanita FaceTime with Austin. He is in, where does his girlfriend live?
Oh, Charlotte.
Charlotte. He's in Charlotte, brought the cats, and him and Vanita have a conversation about how she's like, Shep is a real friend based on his reaction to you getting upset about the rumor mill that happened in New York. And there's a clip of Austin venting to Shep, and he's like, man, I feel so bad. You're my brother, and I was involved in a small way, but I was involved. And Vanita's like, he at least feels bad. Craig, is trying to weasel his way out of this. And she goes, Sally is also enabling Craig's party behavior because she's been going over to his house till 4, like every weekend.
Yeah. And kind of whispering in his ear, like, you can still be bad to people, I guess. Shep, as I already said this last week, I'm not going to say it a lot, but Shep didn't do anything bad. He's apologizing. If you can tell, he's like about to cry. He goes, I'm so sorry. I'm hurt that I hurt you. He's being so sweet to Austin. All he did was said, how do I handle this big bombshell that fell on my lap? I don't think that it was...
Craig said on Watch What Happens that Shep called like 5 different people and told them about it.
Really?
Yeah.
Who said that?
Craig.
God.
The liar.
Whoa. That was on Watch What Happens Live?
Mm-hmm.
God damn, I got to start watching that again. And then I wanted to ask you now, because they said Sally enables bad behavior. You know this triangle that they're talking about, that they were whispering to Patricia about. Does Craig like Sally?
Yeah, but I think he maybe he's into Charlie more because she's playing harder to get.
Yeah, but I was like, he doesn't even acknowledge that, like, he might have, possibly hooked up with Sally at one point. He doesn't say ever. They don't have him in the edit being like, oh, he says Sally's attractive or whatever. But now it's like he's kind of like, I'm on the road towards Charlie at time, and he doesn't really acknowledge Sally. So I just thought that was interesting a little bit, that we're not hearing how he feels about Sally, despite them being the two that are sort of lumped in even more together.
Right. Okay, we get a quick detour to Molly. We get the introduction of her singing career, which my TikTok and Instagram keep serving me clips of Molly singing Casey Musgraves, and she's got some pipes. We see her here with some guy named Keith. They're recording together, and we get an introduction I think we've had some stuff with her parents before, but I think this makes sense to me. They showed her parents, and it looks like she has older parents, which I always think that old or older parents make cool people. I feel like that's why she's chill and well-rounded.
Oh yeah, yeah. I didn't even think of that, but yeah, they seem very sweet, very
Supportive.
very supportive. They were like, we knew. They said the dad like thought he was listening to the radio one morning, and he goes, "Who is that, darling?" to his wife, and she goes, "That's your daughter, Molly," and he goes, "Ever since then, you know, had such musical talent." And then she says a couple times where she's been nervous as hell, like that piano recital. Did you hear her say that? Her piano recital where she kind of lost it, you know, at a certain point she had to run out of the church screaming because she didn't know.
She lost her place. Yeah.
She lost her place.
No, but I love her. I'm glad that she's getting more. She's in the mix on the drama at the pool party. So, um, honestly, this Sally Charlie thing, like literally, who cares? It's like they're making a coffee cake for some reason. Sally says that Craig is going to help her pick out some chickens, and I don't know.
Well, yeah. Let's not spend too much time. But it was sweet. Sally does say, you know, she had a relationship with her grandma who passed away, and so she's making this recipe to sort of honor her. She's getting chickens with Craig, which seems like a big step. I mean, both of them have not a big step, but they both have farm aspirations. Like they both want their yards to be beehives or pepper plots or chickens for eggs, and that's like a bond. That's a bonding experience. You know, if they even like each other a little bit, going to get chickens, you know, when you do that with someone, that's sort of a big deal. And I don't really understand how Charlie is listening, you know, to this, and they're not talking more about, hey, like Charlie's like, I am having feelings for Craig. Like he's buying works of art with me and stuff. And so they never really address that, like there might be two different roads going on at the same time of crushes. Yeah, but you know, yeah, nothing else, I guess, really like that. They kind of make fun of Charlie for not knowing how many ounces are in a cup, and I was like, I don't know. Like,
yeah, who cares?
It wasn't a big gotcha. Like, are you trying to make Charlie look dumb? She doesn't seem that dumb.
She was also like, are we going to use the whole egg? And Sally was like, what are you, dumb? And she was like, well, sometimes it's just the yolk or just the whites. Like, fuck you.
I was like, stop it, please. I think I liked Charlie. So Charlie goes, we haven't fought many battles together. We've been kind of walking on eggshells, so to speak, because she was looking at the eggshells that she just put in the trash. And then she goes, not ready to really talk about what's going on with her relationship. Okay, Craig's party. Spritz Society is on full display, and that made me kind of sad. I had a pang of sadness remembering the Loverboy Spritz Society wars, and also how clearly Loverboy conquered Spritz Society still. I haven't heard one spritz of Spritz Society come towards me since the war that they had, and I really feel like that was the beginning of the end with him and Paige. When he started doing the Chili's, the Panera, Spritz Society, she was like, you're doing so many weird business deals. I can't stand it anymore.
Yeah, she was sick of it. He got the pina colada machine, which was very Kyle Cook of him. And Shep, him and Shep talk about Austin, and Austin said to Shep that he's like, can I even trust you guys? I feel like Craig is always keeping stuff in his back pocket to use against me. And then Craig is like, Austin is just jealous that he can't come party in the hot tub with the girls because he has a girlfriend that he doesn't even like. And Shep is saying, I think Austin is waiting for this big mea culpa from Craig for all of the time that he ignored him while he was with Paige, and it's never going to happen.
Yeah, because Craig doesn't have the big apology bone in his body, which he shows here. He's not good at being remorseful. He kind of still blames Austin. What percentage do you think that Craig is being truthful that Austin does have one eye closed and one eye kind of open, leering, wanting to have hot tub time? Like, I do think that there's some truth. I think there's some truth to Austin being a little bit one foot out the door and being jealous that Shep and Craig are having this sort of single time together without him.
Maybe. I think I'm like, how much is Shep even getting up to? I feel like he's been so mild this season.
Oh, he's
So
behind the scenes. I think he's making love consistently. But I don't know. So you think that he's pretty much in with Audrey now, and he wasn't being sort of jealous when he made those comments about like the hot tub and stuff.
I think it's still more resentment about the fact that Craig was like all year, the previous year was like, you guys are like really out of control. Like you have a problem and you need to grow up. And then the second Paige broke up with him, he was doing the exact same shit.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. I think you're right, and that's more what Shep is saying. Like Austin just has been resentful since you kicked him to the curb with Paige, so that's what the apology he needs. And then Shep goes, "There's a pathway towards having a friendship again." And Craig was very dismissive. He goes, "That was friendship ending," like not believing at all that this rises to the occasion of like of questioning their friendship overall. And then he goes, "Well, maybe I'll give him, so I'll talk to him when he gets here. Is he coming? I bought a bunch of Trop Hop." And Shep says he's not coming. And then Craig gets really pissed at that. He's
like, what? He's never gone on a trip in the middle of the week, which I felt like was code for while filming.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't really understand why. I thought they were going to film Austin with Audrey and get some cat stuff and talk about the rumors going on. And I thought that because I didn't really understand why Austin would you're working, Austin.
Yeah.
This is a show that you have to be on.
That would be too boring. They don't want the footage, unfortunately.
Right.
But you can tell that Shep is stressed out by all of this. And he's like, oh, God. Then everybody else joins. Venita is basically like, I'm not going to miss a big filming day. I brought my enemy a bunch of towels. Craig is like, we don't like each other, but, we're just going to do our best. And it's totally fine. They're cordial. Whitner also throws a little jab and he's like, I have to take a call inside at some point. And in his confessional, he goes, I wouldn't throw a pool party on a Wednesday. I've got a job.
Yeah, that was interesting. I don't really know how to feel about that. It's like, I mean, I don't know. They don't have jobs. This is their job. So they get to party on Wednesdays. Like, you're not going to make a party happen on Saturday to accommodate Whitner. But I was glad, it worked out. He was able to take a couple calls later.
In the closet. Yeah.
Okay. Madison says what you said too later. She sees the pool noodles and stuff flopping in the water, and she goes, "What the hell happened here? This is so shitty compared to the glory days with Paige."
The woman's touch has left the building. Okay, so this is the juiciest part, I think, of perhaps the episode. It turns out that Sally brought up to Rodrigo that Molly had vaginal surgery, like I don't know if you call it a labiaplasty, something like that. And they were gossiping about who paid for it. And Rodrigo, that sort of was a red flag to him because he doesn't really trust Sally. And at this party, it is revealed that Venita is the one who raised that question to Sally. And they're immediately like, girl, what? Like, yeah. I was sort of like, Venita, you're in fucking trouble. Like, that's not cool.
Yeah, it was bad. Venita took a thing in confidence per the friendship that she has with Rod and Molly.
A full HIPAA violation.
Yeah, absolutely. And told it to Sally, and Sally used it and talked about it. And I actually was appreciative of Rod for being honest. You could tell he was pissed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He was like, hey, you're flapping your lips all over town.
He said she was being a shady bitch.
Yeah. And then Venita, though, in Venita's defense, I like Molly, don't think this is indicative of Venita's character. I think it's a miscalculation of what you bring to the forefront when you're on a show, and she thinks that just everything that comes gets told, and relationships be damned. So then she gives the best full-hearted apology, being like, I will never do that. Well, she sees Molly and Rod's energy. They're like, what the fuck? You told Sally that? And then Venita's like, I miscalculated. I promise I will never do that again. And Molly's like, I know Venita's intention, so I don't blame her too much, but she's going to blame Sally eventually.
Yes. Yeah, she said that she heard it from a source that she trusts. I was like, who is that?
Well, the accusation is that they go, who paid for it? And they go, someone who wanted her vagina to be really good.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Fine. I don't care. get somebody to pay for it. But yeah, she's like, I'm always really open. I remember we talked about last season, her and Sally go toe to toe about everything they've had done. And Molly, she had some like random shit. Like I think she had like ankle lipo or something. She's gotten a bunch of little tweaks done. And she's like, I'm fine with all that, but I didn't want everyone in the world to know I got my labia cut off.
Yes, that was the one not to talk about. What about this? All of a sudden, they let us know that an oyster shucker is in their midst.
Speaking of,
what? Oh my God. Why?
I'm just kidding.
Oh my God. Oyster shucker is there, and they've got this huge, almost like armored glove. Did you see this? Mm-hmm. Which I've never. Have you seen this in real life before? A chainmail. Have you seen this?
Yeah.
Really? You've been to a party or an event where they have a oyster shucker with a chainmail glove?
I don't think I've seen it in the flesh, but I've seen it in existence.
Oh, I've never seen this before. I was like, who the hell is this person? And she goes, lemon, what's that? Cocktail sauce or salt. And then she's able to shuck it herself right there on the property.
I think they've had that on Southern Charm before.
Okay. All right. Well, I was stunned. And then Venita kind of comes into this room where everybody, or no, sorry, Sally goes into where Venita, is because she hasn't seen her in a while and she thinks it's been cold. And Venita has a kind of an awkward way to get to what we're trying to see. She kind of has, Venita likes having private moments and not big moments, like where everyone is involved. I can tell that now, and that's how I would be, on camera. But she just is kind of whispering to Sally. Sally's like, what's wrong, Venita? I love you. I haven't seen you in a while. She's like, be nice. Just be nice to everyone. Be nice to me. Don't make me find out that you're a fraud. And Sally, I'm kind of on Sally's side. Or not because of the accusation that she made about Molly, but just like not knowing what the hell Venita's talking about in that moment. She's like, am I a fraud?
It's confusing.
It's confusing, huh? Like,
yeah.
Well, sorry, I was just coming to say
take
hi.
her aside at least, because you're in front of everybody and it's weird.
Yeah, and then the handoff happens.
Yeah, and then Molly's like, I heard you've been talking about me and my vagina. And she's like, what? Like, I never said anything. And Rodrigo's like, you told me. Like, I'm just saying, like, for a fact, you are the one that brought it up to me. And this is where they get into a full, it doesn't get too horrible, but it is kind of shocking. Molly's like, you were being shitty. And Sally's like, you've been shitty. And Molly's like, you've always been shitty, you fucking asshole. Yeah. She says that she's malicious. She needs therapy. And she goes, you fucking suck.
Yeah. Yeah, I think why it feels thrilling is because this is the first, B-tier fight that has erupted, and we're so used to seeing our OGs fight all the time and they're really good at it, but like Molly having this energy for Sally was kind of shocking, and Sally was shocked to hear Molly say that kind of stuff. And then Shep breaks it up. He goes, stop it at once. I'm going to get into a new type of outfit. And Sally goes, I'm scared, Shep. And he goes, you shouldn't be scared, you should be excited.
She should be scared. It was ghastly.
We'll talk about it. And then what happens next? Oh, Molly goes, I thought after this literary party that you and I had buried the hatchet. And then they give us a clip that we've never seen before of them kissing each other on the cheek and saying, we will never betray each other, or let's be good friends, which we hadn't seen. And they're like, let's get back to that place. But then Molly goes, just so you know, Venita said she needs to be sort of wary of you for the things that you do. And then that sends Sally, she's like, oh, I got new homework. I'm going out to Venita to confront her about that.
Right. Yeah. So she runs out and she's like, what the hell? I'm hearing you're saying you're weary of me. And Venita's like, yeah, I feel like you're much more concerned with Craig and you're always going to take his side. And Sally's like, I love you, but I really don't want to stop hanging out with him. And Venita's like, you just don't get it. You're never going to hear me. And she just walks away and it's not really resolved.
No, and it's sort of, for me, it's like, I just, like we've already said, like Sally says, my relationship with Craig has nothing to do with Venita. And it's like, at this point, I sort of agree, and Venita doesn't even want to make her case longer. I think she does next week when she talks to Sally. Shep comes down, and this was not a good costume moment. I love Shep. I talk about him all the time. But this felt kind of uncomfortable and awkward.
What was he going for? Was it a founding father wig and then eagle Speedo.
I think like as if George Washington was coming to a pool party at the White House and he put on a kind of a revealing bathing suit with an eagle on it. But I think the fact that no one else was doing it, and I think what also made me sad was that he was so proud of it. I hate to say that, but the fact that he was so eager and thought that everybody would be, and then everybody's kind of like, we don't know what to do. Craig is like, that wig is so shitty. Take the hair.
Yeah. Madison's like, why do you still have a hairnet on, you freak? He also, no offense, he needs to do some squats. His ass is not there.
Really? Whoa! I don't know what the hell was wrong with me. What? So what are you saying?
Unimpressed by the booty.
Really? We never talk about this kind of stuff, but what you're saying that it needs exercise?
Shep, we need some deadlifts, some squats, some lunges. I do not know what's going on there.
Holy shit! Holy shit! All right, I'm gonna watch it again. And then Shep goes, I want to jump in the pool so bad to make everybody feel like I'm in Porky's or American Pie or whatever the movie he's trying to replicate. Grease? I don't know. You know, where a movie where somebody jumps in the pool and everybody starts screaming and clapping. And he goes, but I can't get my wig wet. And Craig goes, that wig is horrible. You can get it wet.
Yeah, it's just immediately he jumps in, the wig is wet then, and then it's over. And you're like, what a success.
Yeah, kind of. I really did. I felt bad for him.
He's trying. I feel like he needs to figure out his role now. He's kind of off to the side.
Yeah, he needs to. Well, who are we to give a 11 season cast member advice? But I feel like if the relationship stuff is out, it just can't be about Craig, Austin, and him, that dynamic. Because it seems like he just is like, I want to be friends with these guys. I love them. I don't want to fight with them anymore. Which he used to. He also. This is the best compliment I could give Shep. But it's not maybe detrimental to his performance, is that he used to have a mean bone in his body. He was one of the meanest guys out of nowhere, where you'd be shocked because he would just say some inflammatory comment. Like I remember when Taylor was crushing eggshells and he goes, you moron, and out of nowhere it's like, you just called your girlfriend a moron. And he used to say shit like that all the time. And after ayahuasca, that mean spirit left his body and he's kind of just nice. Not that I'm saying that he doesn't need to be mean to be interesting, but now it's time to introduce new elements if this costume stuff isn't working.
Right. Yeah. Speaking of snapping, Craig and Madison have a heart-to-heart, and Craig is saying how he regrets freaking out on Austin the other night, and he's he goes, I don't know how to not be the fun guy at the bar. That's how I met Paige. That's always how I operate. And he said that after the literary party, his bad behavior, he immediately texted his therapist and was like, do you have any spots open? Because obviously I have some triggers that aren't resolved, and that was not the best version of me. And I was like, okay, I respect that.
Yeah, he's doing. So he went big with his horrible reaction of anger, and he's going really small with all of the steps that he took to redeem himself. The trop hop, getting him admitting to his assistant that he feels bad, him telling Madison that he feels bad, and then doing the work on himself with a therapist. So he's making steps, but he still sort of has some kind of grudge against Austin for Austin making this a bigger deal than what he thinks it should be.
Right. Okay. And then, the party isn't really iconic. Like, people are starting to bounce. They're playing volleyball. People are like, I'm going to leave. Shep's like, I have to feed little Craig. Madison's like, time for me to go. Vanita's like, yeah, I'm definitely going to leave. And the only people left are, of course, the hot tub brigade, Corey, Charlie, Sally. And they're sort of negging Charlie, making fun of her. And when Corey's in the hot tub with Sally and Craig, they're telling a story, and they talk about how last time they were there, they went and got breakfast in the morning, and I think they said they went on like a bike ride or something. And he goes, oh, so you guys stayed over. And Craig says, what happens in the hot tub stays in the hot tub.
Yeah. And then they have sort of a flirty look, like Sally licks her lips and Craig pushes his hair back. And he goes, he kind of talked about it like it was like a sexy film. Like he goes, my favorite was the stormy night. He was like, and she goes, oh yeah, that night when it was the whole night. And then Corey's like picking up on it. He's like, wow, you guys are saying stuff that sounds like, there could have been a full overnight possibly possibly that they had sex at some point is what
Right.
they're alluding to. I wanted to give Sally a little bit of credit because she's done this twice now. When Venita leaves, Venita kisses Craig, and it's interesting because she's going above and beyond to someone she hates. She talks about not liking Craig. She kisses him to leave. And then Sally goes to her directly, not even really on mic. I don't know how Sally gets away with saying stuff like inaudibly sometimes. But she goes, you can kiss him on the cheek, but you don't want me to hang out with him. And this is the second time now where Sally has said something where she's not the focus. She said that to Charlie when she was swimming in the water with Craig. She was like, oh, what are you going to do when I'm gone? Flirt with Craig? So she's very good at keeping the balls up in the air or whatever, like keeping the momentum going. And she doesn't even care if that's caught on camera. She just says what she's thinking, which is the sign of a very good cast member, I thought. The fact that she could say that to Venita's face and call out some hypocrisy on Venita's part, which I do think there's some hypocrisy of kissing Craig on the cheek and then saying, she doesn't like him.
That's the Southern way.
Oh, right. I forgot about that. You're right. That's the Southern way.
But yeah, next week, Venita has a full sit down about warning Sally about Craig. Like he's going to turn on you. He's going to fuck you over. And then there's a classic men's only dinner at Miss Pat's where Austin and Craig get into it finally.
They got to break that thing one time and let Madison dress up like Shep again as that person, Shep younger self, and be like, haha, we broke the rules because Madison's bringing back that costume. You know what I mean? I think that's why Shep got so fired up about his founding father in a bikini costume, because he thought that the energy was costumes. And so you know what I mean? So he was
That's
sort of
the new vibe.
That's what he thought. I like when Venita tells Sally, she goes, he will walk you like a dog on a leash and then let the leash go at some point. I really think that's a very fun statement. I love hearing it every time. I can't wait to actually watch the episode when she says that.
Yeah, I hope that she spices up a little bit and gets more involved because, I generally like her.
Me too. It's about going against your better instincts as what a human would do in polite society and going nuts a 10 out of 10. And that is I'm sure that's one of the hardest things in the world to do. And it's something that everyone just has to be more comfortable on camera. And we've watched these cast members blossom so many times. And so Venita, I'm sure, like in another season, like she could just become comfortable finally with like voicing everything that, she feels is going on. Because I think she's great too. Do you want to I was thinking about maybe taking some sort of break for a couple minutes, maybe let the ads run, see what kind of ads we get. Would that be interesting with you?
Yeah, let's roll the dice.
All right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So listen to these ads, please, right now. We're back. Amy, how the hell do you feel?
Ready to go glamorize in Beverly Hills.
Oh, me too. And what you're alluding to with that is that you and I are now going to talk about this week's episode of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. I believe it was called A Match Made in Hell. No, I'm just kidding.
Beverly Hell.
Is that what it was? A Match Made in Beverly Hills.
Yeah. Were you shocked that just the second the episode started, it was the event?
Oh, it was great. Just what I was saying about Southern Charm. Just show us an event. This one starts with maybe half the episode, but you got to give Bose credit. I give Bose credit all the time. This was a great idea. She goes, I noticed something. Every person here on this cast is single. What if I had a big singles mixer where I invited my most wonderful friends that were men to see what the hell could happen if they mixed it up as a speed dating type of environment together? Did you like
think
this?
Bose is friends with Ben Glebe?
Of course, yes. Ben Glebe was the one that she was sort of having the most sort of just talking with off the cuff. Anytime you'd see her, it'd be Ben and her laughing. Ben was making her laugh a lot during this thing. I felt like that was maybe the closest friendship. Chase, Sebastian, Ben, Rick, Garib.
Huh.
Yeah, these guys were awesome, and it was kind of, this is such a formula, or this is so cliched at this point. But for some reason, I don't know, maybe I was in a really good mood. I just liked the idea of trying to make most of them who are single, like just talk to guys like this. It was. Did you think it was more on the cliched? I've seen this before end, or did you think it was a little bit fun?
It was kind of both. Like, it was obviously bullshit. Like, no one was actually gonna meet anyone or
Why
wasn't
not?
even really trying.
Why not?
I don't think they were interested.
No, Rick.
Maybe, well, Sutton was interested in Rick and Rick was interested in Erica.
Yeah, but you, this could have been one of those stories of all time in the hollows of love. Like,
It's true. It's possible.
yeah,
But it was
right.
like the real estate guy, Kyle's
Chase.
saying, I don't want to fuck a real estate guy again. And he's like, I did a deal with your ex. And then Erica doesn't want to fuck a lawyer again.
Yeah, you're right. I guess, I mean, I don't know. Remember on Potomac when they met Josh and
Saw how well that went.
I know, but still, sparks flew for a good year and a half. But you're right. What I don't know. I was giving this the benefit of the doubt. I was happy as hell.
But it was fun to have them a bit out of their element. Like, I think it's funny to make Rachel Zoe do this.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. And she was actually giving it a try. She was talking to that guy about Coldplay. So it was kind of fun to just force them to do this. Erica was so off kilter, which was rare. So it was fun.
Yeah. You get to see him in sort of an environment where they're kind of a little nervous, and it was weird, and how they handle it. They're all, Bose goes, guys, and she reveals that Ben and everybody are just right outside, like looking in the window. They're like all there, gathered, like they've been there for hours, possibly.
They were already there. Did you like in the girls' text at the beginning, Sutton used a cat sticker?
Yeah, I was just gonna say
she was like, I know exactly what to wear, and they're all like, no.
Yeah, and she goes, I have a sweater for you all to wear if you're nervous. Yeah, and then put that big cat sticker.
I'll defend that choice to the death. I did also enjoy that Erica told her glam team, she goes, I think we want to make me look like a normal human being, which I think it's funny to acknowledge that most of the time on the show she looks absolutely insane.
I think so too. I thought that was interesting to say that. Like, I want to dress, less scary. Ben Glebe gets a huge joke in. Bose goes, they're really nervous, and he goes, they should be nervous. We are intense. And Bose starts laughing so hard. She goes, Mr. Comedian, slow down. Take a break for a second. Just don't bust our chops just yet. Kind of letting us know that Ben is going to be kind of really, really using his comedian
way
energy.
Too funny. Do you think she met him through Jimmy Fallon?
Yeah. That's what I was thinking from that what's that called? On Brand with Jimmy Fallon.
Are we going to watch that? It's like, is it even on anymore?
Oh, well, of course we are going to. I just haven't. Yeah, I haven't gotten around to it yet. I didn't really, to be honest, it didn't make a huge splash. No.
I was surprised. I saw a bunch of billboards and stuff. Like, it's on the sides of buses. And I was kind of surprised that, I mean, I guess it's a show about advertising, so they have to advertise it.
Oh, right. Of course. I saw a clip of it. It was like a clip was going around. I think we talked about it. Jimmy Fallon was like, what the hell kind of ad is this? And he was like, I forget what it was. Like, it was some sort of
didn't stick with you, huh?
No, it didn't seem. No, it wasn't. No, it didn't seem very good, that one clip that I saw. But back at Bose's house, this was funny. This was sending me slapping my knees like I just heard Ben Glebe at Hollywood Improv. Erica shows up wearing black, and she goes, look at me, I'm dressed like this now. And then Kyle is wearing black. And it's like, okay, two people can wear black. That's normal. Or, not normal, but like, hey, it doesn't matter. And then they go, wait, what the hell? Rachel Zoe is wearing black too. And then it's just this progression of people wearing black to the point where it starts. 5 out of 5. Yeah, it starts to get really funny. And I was like, well, Sutton's not going to wear black because I can't imagine her doing that. And then she does this. And then they said, this is completely representative of our subconscious within our minds. Sutton says, we look like a witch convention. And Erica says, this is where we're all at in our lives. It's just a big black cloud over all of us. And I thought that was really funny.
Dark. Yeah, I feel like the only one that was eating it up was Dorit. Like, she really enjoys this environment. She felt very confident. Erica was like, I have no game. Even though Rick did give her a card. But then she gives the card to Sutton. I was like, Rick doesn't want Sutton to call him Otherwise,
No.
he would have given her his card.
Right, he gave his lawyer card. Yeah, it's not like it's just not transferable. The card probably even said non-transferable. Don't give to other people. But I did like, that it was very awkward in a good way for me because they were all in a big huddle. Like it wasn't planned. The first 20 minutes weren't planned properly. Matt goes, "We need an icebreaker." Matt's the guy. I think he's a lawyer too. There's a bunch of lawyers. He goes, "I need an icebreaker now. I'm blowing it with Dorit." And she goes, "Sorry. Bose goes, "Listen, I'm going to start the mixing now, so just hold on tight." And then that's when they get these little moments. Garib was the founder of Comic-Con.
Oh, right.
And
I mean, that's probably a big moneymaker at this point, right?
oh, yeah. Comic-Con? Oh, yeah, I think so.
Heard of it?
And and then Garib goes, he goes, how I got into Comic-Con was I loved collecting sports cards. And Erica goes, "I love sports cards. Let's talk more about that." And he goes, "Cards." And she goes, "Oh, God." She goes, "Okay."
Yeah, when he brought up comic books to Rachel Zoe, she was like, "Ugh."
Yeah, she almost barfed. And then I love when Sutton gave the editors the best flashback of the century. She teed him up so hard. She goes, "I've been on bad dates before. Remember the guy who liked his mom?" And this made me laugh out loud so hard. This guy who was talking about his mom, the way they chopped it up. He's like, "My mom's still in the house. I love my mom, by the way." And then he was like, "I'm the only guy whose mom told him what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas." And it's really funny that, he talked about his mom 3 times and they make him look horrible for it.
Yeah. And then her other date, she's talking about her tingly leg syndrome or whatever.
Yes.
She's like, "It's my what is it? Myopathy? What? No,
Neuropathy.
Neuropathy. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the guy's like, "Oh no."
Well, wasn't there was a date that I remember Sutton went on where she was wearing the cat sweater where I thought it was really sweet and they had sparks flying. So there's a lot of bad dates, obviously, but I thought that there was a good one. But I think we kind of learned the real reason why Sutton might not be fully wanting to date anyone at this time when we get that later scene with Rachel Zoe.
So yeah, this is where we get more of the heart-to-hearts about divorces and future relationships. Dorit is like, "Kyle, are you actively looking to meet someone?" And she's like, "Of course not." She was like, "You're not either." And she goes, "Well, you're years past me in this journey." And for some reason, Erica's like, "Let's split this into 2. Dorit, come with me over here." And I guess Sutton's going to come too. So I don't know who told her to do that. It was weird, but okay.
Why? Yeah, it was awkward, and Dorit goes, "Pardon?" And I was like, "What?" I thought that initially, Dorit was going to have the canary in her mouth like a cat, like that Dorit was going to ask too many questions about Kyle's relationship after Kyle just told Erica that she doesn't want to be asked that. So Erica was pulling Dorit away, but then you left Kyle there to have more people who are even newer who have more legitimate questions to ask about it. So it didn't do her any favors at all.
Yeah.
I didn't understand why and then Erica doesn't even have a reason to talk to Dorit. She's like, "What's going on with that Florida shit?" Dorit goes, "It's great."
Yeah, kids are having a blast. They just commiserate about divorce and how Erica and Sutton agree that you have to be on your best behavior during a divorce. Everything you say and do can be used against you in court, who you're hanging out with, what you're saying, blah, blah, blah. So they just are telling her it sucks and you're just going to have to get through it. And then in the other conversation, Kyle is saying she doesn't really want to do one-night stands. She asks Bose how many times she's been in love. And Kyle says she's been in love 3 times, including once since Mo. So we're still tiptoeing around, but we can just, acknowledge to everyone it's about Morgan. And Bose is like, I'm not, it's not just because I'm nosy. It's because I want to be close friends. I want to be in your business. And Kyle's like, just ask what you really want to ask. And she goes, what do I really want to ask? And she goes, I could do Brad. I could do Angelina, which of course they used in the trailer. And she's like, I'm only half kidding.
Yeah. I want to ask about this. So of course, that was the biggest thing in the trailer. If I could go Brad or I can go Angelina. I know that Bose, sometimes people pry to get stuff out of someone because it's a producer necessity. But I didn't really think that Bose was leading her to this. I didn't sense that it was a question of her sexuality here. I thought that it was kind of like, I think she justified wanting to get closer to her in a way where I felt it much worse with other people trying to get to the bottom of Kyle's mysteries.
Mhm.
And when Kyle out of nowhere says, ask what you really want to ask, I didn't think that Bose was setting it up at all. It was kind of like, huh? She didn't. Did you think that she was trying to get to the Morgan Wade question, or if she was
I mean,
bisexual?
I think she was going to keep asking questions that led back to that relationship. I don't know if she was going to say, "Are you gay or not?" But because I felt like Rachel was being way more chill about it than Bose.
Okay.
Bose is very direct, so she was always going a little bit further than the other person wants to go, whereas Rachel was like, you don't have to know. You're on this new journey. Like, she was being way more just casual about it.
I gave Bose more benefit of the doubt than I originally thought when I saw that clip, that she would be trying to get, info out of Kyle. But maybe you're right, that the road was leading down this and there'd be no quitting until Kyle says this. But also the way she says it, she goes, what question are you asking? I don't know if I could go Brad or I could go Angelina. She doesn't answer the question. I thought that in the trailer, it makes her seem like she says definitively, I could go Brad or I could go Angelina. You know what I mean?
Like
Instead
either or?
Yeah, instead she says, if I could. You're asking if I could go Brad or Angelina. She's not stating that, which I thought in the... Oh, okay.
I think she is.
Oh, okay.
Because then after that, she says that gender doesn't matter. It's about a soul connection, and that she's historically attracted to men, tall, dark, and handsome. And Bose was like, would that also translate to women? And she goes, I don't know yet, or currently.
Okay, so she adds more than just that initial statement to validate why she said Brad or Angelina. Okay.
Right. Like Bose was like, all right, well, if you like tall, dark, and handsome, could we talk about like a female version of that? And Kyle's like, I haven't like even explored all of that, which I feel like Morgan Wade.
Yeah, Morgan Wade.
Okay. I'm afraid I'm going to say Wallen.
Oh, of course. Yeah. I think Morgan Wade.
She was sort of like a mix of both worlds. She had the blowout, but was muscular with tattoos. Like, she was like butch with femininity. So I feel like it was a good bridge for Kyle. So I'd be curious where she'll go in the future.
Me too. I'm really curious. I love Kyle. We talk about it all the time. But at a certain point, I was seeing things through Bose's eyes, and I was imagining being Bose talking to someone that you don't know that they're powerful in terms of the context of the show. Like, we know Kyle is so powerful on this show that everything she says is a huge deal. She makes news with everything she says. But in the context of the reality of this show being Friends, Bose, I would be as curious as Bose and wondering, can you just say it? Like, we're filming, I know, but I'm trying to have a real conversation with someone that I'm trying to get to know. What's the holdup? Like, and I can't just defer to you because you make news all the time. I can't stifle my curiosity and urge to become a better friend by knowing that you are in a position where it's going to be a huge deal when you say it. So I was reckoning with that, whereas on the other side, I had been more annoyed that people were using Kyle as a target to make news.
Yeah, I just wish that I wish it wasn't taking so long to, they gave her the Erica heart-to-heart last week where she got to get as close as she ever will to saying what happened. And then I felt like if she was just with Rachel in this conversation, we could have gotten somewhere because Rachel was like, she's in a similar space where she's saying that she's discovering things about herself that she has never gotten to experience because she's been in a relationship for 30 years. And so I feel like there was something there where I was like, fuck, like Bose is just a little too like hard edged. It's like Kyle doesn't feel safe to go there. And I felt like Rachel, if it was just the two of them, she would have like opened up a little more about exploring her new version of herself. Like, I was like, damn it, I wish that there was more time there.
Okay, and I can totally see that reality, and that's what I expected. A part of me felt like Kyle might have misread Bose's intentions. But I also, of course, I'm always normally on that side of things, like you, where I'm just like, why are we asking this question? You just are trying to make a moment happen. But maybe that's, let Turtle Time listeners let us know how you felt about that, because it's interesting to sort of know what's the what side of things someone could be on. Like, what's your duty as a cast member who's dealing with a coworker versus a duty of someone who's trying to become a friend with someone and you want to get a real answer?
Yeah, I think sometimes Bose, because she came in hot on the first season, so I feel like Kyle maybe still doesn't totally trust her now.
Mhm.
And Bose is sort of, she reacts big to any news that she gets, which I feel like Kyle is like trying to downplay.
Yeah.
And she knows that anything she says, Bose will be like, oh my God, like, what a revelation. And she's like, I just want to like barely make it like new information. Like,
totally.
I'll tell you, but like, be cool.
Yes, I agree I agree to that, but I also don't think that Kyle should have the privilege of sacred spaces.
Sure.
Like I'm starting to see now where someone could get frustrated with Kyle, even if you love her. Like, yes, I will have that conversation. It will not be with 2 new cast members. It'll be with Erica at my house, the only person that I actually trust, and they won't see it until the edit is finished, like 3 weeks before the reunion. Like, it's a really hard place, and it's not something that I thought about with other OGs who get to the place of Kyle. She's now the longest running consecutive housewife in history.
Yeah.
So that's a privileged space in a way, and how you treat someone like that is interesting.
Yeah. I don't really totally understand why she can't talk. She's basically saying everything while saying nothing, and I'm like, we all know what you're talking about, so I don't get why you can't just say it in plain language, especially because you're not even together anymore. So, like, even if it fucks Morgan over a little bit, but can you just say one sentence like, I had a fucking short-term rebound relationship with the person, say her name, that you thought, and you were right, but it failed because of all of the drama around the news about it, etc., which she did say, but I'm like, just say the name and then you could be done.
I know. I thought about that, and I agree with you completely. I just think the impact of that would be too seismic to where Morgan Wade would be in the headlines for another year, and that's not something that she's willing to do. Morgan Wade's Google alerts, no offense, would like blast to the moon for a really long time. The reunion would be centered around it. Like, it would cause the longevity of it, but I want what you want.
Yeah.
But then I see Kyle's side of being like, if I say her name one more time, we'll never get over it. We'll never as a society.
It's like a PR SEO
Yes.
Loophole where if she doesn't say it, then the headlines can't say it.
Yes.
They have to write like Kyle alludes to relationship. And it's like, that's not a headline.
And Morgan Wade's getting her Google alerts now. And she's like, Morgan Wade's bubbling up a little bit. What the hell's going on in Beverly Hills? But it's like, no one is making the full leap that they would if Kyle said specifically.
It's true,
so
you're right.
It's a kindness to Morgan, which is to the detriment of viewers. Okay, we got to talk about Amanda Francis.
Oh my God, my soul, like a shiver went down my spine when it was like Kyle's house. And I was like, it was like that meme where it was like, I don't live here, but I know my way around when I saw the house. And then it was like, did a little like ghostly scrub. And then it was like, not Kyle's house, Amanda's house. And I was like, ah.
That is so shocking to see that new family there. It's so sad when you show up on the door of your old house and you say, please let me in. And they go,
I know. Well, because we had it the whole run of Housewives for over a decade. That was where everything went down. Like, we saw that house a million times, all the white parties, everything. Mm-hmm. And then Sutton lived there for like a year or two. So we got even longer with it. And then now we have a new cast. Like, it's like never going to leave.
Yeah, it's sort of cool. I mean, it was a great way for Amanda to get on the show, too, to be the couple that bought it. I didn't look at the floor that he destroyed.
Yeah, it looks totally different on the inside. Like, I got the warm and fuzzy from the outside, but for the inside, I was like, I barely recognize it.
He's a construction guy. I just realized why he was on that jackhammer, bouncing around, destroying the floor. He does construction, so he likes that kind of stuff. That just clicked.
Loves it.
For me. Okay, let's talk about Amanda. This is her big scene to reveal her life, and we got a dose of her last episode, but now we're really meeting Amanda Francis. Now I know her last name. I mean, that's huge. She goes, I used to go in Oklahoma to Walmart every night and walk around in the video game section and the sports section, and that would be my every single evening. And now I manifested. My family and I are on the streets that I used to watch Clueless about, and now the streets that I walk are from that film.
Right. She manifested it. I also was sort of shocked at the timeline of her family. She said she met him in 2019, knocked up in 2020. Did she say last time that they have 2 kids and then he has 2 kids?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't know. Actually, sorry. Well, I don't want to state that I know that they have 2 kids. I only know
Okay.
that they had 1
They
kid.
only
'cause
showed
she's
her pregnant the once, but
Yeah.
I thought that she said she had like 4 kids.
Maybe you're right. Yeah, and then we got to
But
see
maybe he
these-
had 3 and they had 1.
Okay.
I don't know.
Somewhere therein lies the truth. He's working on a big Disney World project. He's like, I think he's going to build the new Bluey. There's a huge Bluey world, I think.
Wow.
So he might be on the ground floor, so to speak, of the Bluey addition to Disney World. And she goes, I thought your dad was going to get me a Smart and Final ring, kind of alluding to the fact that I guess she loves Walmart and Smart and Final.
Yeah.
And then
Did we
sorry.
ever talk about that Smart and Final is because the men were named Smart and Final?
I think you told me that, and it kind of blew my mind for an entire night. I said, I can't
Never
talk
forget.
I can't talk to anyone anymore. It's too perfect. Eddie Smart and Billy Final. It's like, what are the odds? Smart and Final. I guess it makes more sense than what I always thought, which is like it's final sale.
Right.
I
Yeah.
always thought it was smart picks, but their final sale. You know,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? Like I thought
Yeah.
it was 2 words that represented their
We
products.
took it for granted, but if you really think about it, it doesn't make that much sense. What is their thing? It's like Smart and Final, that's where you go. Save time and money. Shop like a pro.
Yeah, it should be like, by the way, those 2 words are the last names of our 2 founders, just to be like, in case
You
you're...
thought it was because you're smart to shop here, but when you're done, it's final. But it was the guys.
It's fun. Or have them in your promotion, 2 black and white photos of Mr. Smart and Mr. Final possibly, and just be like, look, enough of the questions. It's not final sale, and these are smart purchases, but
Yeah,
it's so
final sale is like scary.
Yeah,
Like that
smart-
doesn't make me feel good.
smart product.
Final sale. Like
Right.
really think about it. It's in
Yeah.
red.
Yeah, you're making a smart decision, but just so you know, but it's
final.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm glad that we're sort of being the podcast that really talks about it finally. And then she's been manifesting like crazy. Amanda's been
Yes.
closing her eyes and manifesting stuff. And she goes, money is what I focus on. And I loved these money affirmations. I think 2026.
She's been spinning in circles.
Yes. I think 2026 is the year of money manifestations for you and I. I
we
want
have her
all of
on?
these things. Huh?
Can we have her on?
Yeah, I would love to talk to Amanda. Oh my God. If she would do a little taste for free, I can't afford that $700 course, but I am worthy of the money I desire. Like I was so...
It said money is my birthright.
Yes. And people love to pay me. And like psychologically, there was some truth to this. I know Amanda, that the hammer is going to come down and we're going to be like, what the hell are these courses? What is this shit? This sucks or whatever. But I was sort of like, I have a psychological hindrance to making money.
Scarcity mindset.
Yes. Yes. If I said I am worthy of the money I desire out loud, it makes me curl up in shame. If I said people love to pay me, I don't want to be paid for anything. The idea of anybody paying me for anything shocks me. So
You're
is some...
repelling the cash.
I know. There is some psychological hurdle, mental hurdle that I feel like I would love to overcome to be like, I love getting money. I need money. Please let me. So there was I was kind of on board with this new way of thinking. Yes. Good. So you weren't turned off.
I mean, I think there's nothing wrong with that. I think it is like she was saying, of course, the real money, the making and the maintaining and the investing of it is most important because that's the brass tacks. But I don't think there's anything wrong with reassessing your relationship to money. Like, I think that's smart. And that's true of everything. Like, you should know your intention. And, a lot of people have an unhealthy relationship with money because of their childhood, whatever. So, no, I think it's smart. But I am also down for Bose to take a hammer to her entire way of being.
Really? I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready for her to bring the hammer down. I'm really not, and I do agree that you don't for you and I feel like we want money so bad, but we don't know, or me personally, I won't speak for you. But I find it repulsive to talk about it. But then on the other end, you don't want to end up like Scrooge McDuck or Ebenezer Scrooge, famously 2 Scrooges who love money so much. There's a callous, awful, greedy sort of end of the road if you focus only on money.
But I do believe in, I have a woo-woo side. I was very into Oprah for a long time. She talked about intention and manifestation and abundance all the time. She was behind The Secret at the time, which is coming up on VPR because Venus is obsessed with The Secret. But I do have a belief inside me that money is free flowing. Like, there's no reason why it shouldn't come to you. Like, it's a fucking fake. Like, it's just if you figure out how to get it, it's yours.
I think about that too. I'm like, Hearst or whatever. What was Hearst's first name? I always forget.
William Randolph.
Oh yeah, of course, William Randolph Hearst. I'm like everyone can get money, and he just got a big bucket of cash dumped on his head. He was always rich, and it's like there are just people who are so lucky that they just got money at the start of their lives or whatever, and some people have earned it and worked and toiled for it. And I'm just like, why can't I be one of the people that just gets a little bit of those glorious dollars flowing in every once in a while?
It can be a curse though.
Oh, yeah, I know. And knowing my luck, it'd be a complete monkey's paw. I'd be like, can I get a little bit of money? And I turn into an absolute total nightmare. Gordon Gekko, demon, Jordan Belfort. I'm like, cash.
We have like the most like small Patreon of all time, and we're getting a little too big for our britches.
Totally, but there was something inspiring about this. I need to change my relationship to money. Amanda Francis, help me, please.
Let's read Rich as Fuck.
I would read it.
And have her on.
I really would. I mean, 2026 is the year I want to get rich as hell. I'm sure you
Didn't we say that last year? We really mean it this year.
This is it. I'm going to manifest this year. Okay, this scene was sweet between Sutton and Rachel Zoe. Rachel Zoe invites Sutton to her house. Sutton brings white wine. She's got jeans on. They bond about how no one they really liked. It was too early. They didn't like Chase or Gareb even. And then Sutton goes, Zoe goes, would you get remarried to Sutton? And Sutton goes, that's a funny story. Not very funny, kind of sad. I always thought that maybe Christian and I could have gotten back together if I just, I thought I could always have him back.
She thought the ball was in her court, and it turns out he was like, I actually don't want our marriage to have any record whatsoever.
Yeah, they just put a strike through it in the official holy matrimony section of the Catholic Church.
Which I think someone commented that the reason that you do that is so that you can remarry within the Catholic Church.
Oh, that's what Henry. What was the one who created divorce because he was like, this is the coolest stuff in the world? The
creator of divorce.
Yeah, Henry VII, I think, or Henry VIII. He was. Oh, people will be so pissed because that's like Henry the Seventh was the. Anyway, he was like, hey, divorce is cool. I don't know if I'm. Oh God, Don't look into this. Everyone knows the story I'm talking about. He said, hey, let's go to this different type of religion where divorce is much better and way cooler. Right. But this makes sense. This makes sense now. You're right. So he can get married again. But then Sutton goes, I got the letter in the mail and it said Strack Brown.
Right.
And she's dealing with what she's going to do with that Strack.
I like how Rachel Zoe was like, you need to unstrack yourself. You need to de-strack. And she goes, I dropped my name the second I left the house. And I was like, yeah, but no one knew you ever changed your name. All of your brands, your TV show, professionally, you've always been Rachel Zoe. So I didn't know that your driver's license said Rachel Berman or whatever. I guess that's still something internally, a move you have to make to detach yourself. But I was like, your name is Rachel Zoe.
Right. Yeah. It's like a stage name. It's like, yeah, we only know Jax Taylor. Those neither of those are his names, but it doesn't matter to us. So I agree with you. She could be Sutton Brown forever. I think Kyle Richards was saying I'm back to my stage name now, but I always had Mauricio's name. So it doesn't really matter. It's about the psychological impact of changing your name. And Rachel is being funny. I really like Rachel. I don't know her like you.
I was surprised. I was not expecting much.
This is the opposite of how I felt with Jenna Lyons. No offense. Why I need to bring her up, but everyone had vested interest in Jenna Lyons. They're like, A Star Is Born. Wait till you see her wreak havoc. And I was like, oh God, I have no association with her, and she's not fun. Rachel Zoe, I have no association with her, and I think she's awesome. She goes, UnStracke yourself. She goes,
time to de-strack.
You need to de-strack. And then Sutton says a beautiful thing. So what I was saying earlier about the hurdle to Sutton possibly being with one of these people was that maybe in the back of her mind she's still thought that her and Christian had a chance, but then he annulled it. So possibly she thought they'd get back together, and she never wanted to make that leap. But now, she's going to unburden herself. She goes,
de-strack.
She's going to de-strack. And then she goes, but I felt bad for the grandkids when they get to go to grandma and grandpa Stracks, and I'm over here just as Grandmommy Brown.
Old Granny Brown, stinky Granny Brown with 20 cats. And Rachel was like, the cats are another issue entirely. Which I say, get 18 cats.
Yeah, no, of course. It was funny. They had good chemistry. They don't even know each other very well, but that was a good conversation.
Rachel is so far so good. I watched a clip where Andy called Howard Stern this week, and Howard was like, I gotta tell you, Rachel Zoe is a great addition. What a stroke of genius to add her. And Andy was like, oh, yeah, she's great. And it really gets kicked up a notch in Sedona, which is next week.
I cannot believe this. I just want to say, for people who fact check at Turtle Time, which no one does because they're like, everything is wrong and this is horrible. But it was the Henry VIII. He was the one who wanted to. He wanted to
6 wives.
He wanted to annul his marriage. He needed to produce a male heir, and it led to English Reformation because the Pope said, you can't get divorced. What the hell are you talking about? And so they had to, people know this much more than me, but that's what I was alluding to. The Catholic Church. I don't know how that ties into the Catholic Church, but just imagine that reference I had said King Henry VIII, and then
there's a musical about his wives called Six because he had 6 wives.
Really? Which wife of Henry VIII suffered the most? It says Catherine. She had it. That's one of the Google questions.
Often remembered by the rhyme: divorced, beheaded, died, divorced, beheaded, survived.
He's best. That's not funny. That's horrible and tragic. But sorry, he's best remembered for that rhyme.
These women: Catherine of Aragon, Anne Boleyn, Jane Seymour, Anne of Cleves, Catherine Howard, and Catherine Parr, often remembered by the rhyme: divorced, beheaded, died, divorced, beheaded, survived.
And that horrible laugh I made, it was only because I was like, that's how they are remembered. That's like so tragic.
It's been how many years?
Yeah, but I don't laugh at. I know, but I don't laugh at beheadings, no matter if it was even 500 years ago. I don't get pleasure in that. What a shocking thing for Henry VIII.
Canceled.
No, please, I didn't. That was an uncomfortable laugh. All right, what the hell? Henry VIII? Okay, let's talk.
We don't have to get into Kyle and Alexia go wedding flower shopping. It was annoying to watch because I was like, bring your reference images, send them your Pinterest board. We can't be going flower by flower on this.
I didn't know how you were going to feel about that. I thought you were going to say I wanted to get a little peek at this process, but I agree with you.
I'm interested, but I was like, why is she just trying to go over it verbally? Like, I know you have references.
She goes, I want them to all look like various forms of artichokes. And I was like, could you imagine being in a flower store and getting that? And that's the only clue you have. But Kyle, it's more of a podium for Kyle to talk about her grief. And she's like, she goes, I love this whole process and I want to get a bunch of different artichokes all over for Alexia. And she goes, I just hope, she's crying, I hope that Jake never loses the love for her. And that she's talking about Mauricio. And she goes, I hope that we can now at least be a lesson to them. I was like, oh, that's beautiful. Like, Kyle, thank you so much for making this emotionally resonant.
Verklempt. She was like, I hope they never hurt each other, and that, blah blah blah. So and she says, her and Mauricio, of course, she was like, at our wedding we were very happy, and they were happy for a long time, and it's just sad.
Would you be pissed if Kyle wrote that best-selling memoir, My Name is Kyle, and it was 1,000 pages, and she talked about Mauricio cheating in it and talked about dating Morgan Wade? Would you be mad?
Why would I be mad?
Well, because, okay, sorry, not you, but I guess would Bravo be really mad?
I feel like if enough time, I guess it depends. If it came out now, yes, it's like the Robin Dixon Patreon where she paywalled her reveals. But if it came out later, then it's like, your memoir, you get to say whatever you want, the stuff you've been holding on to.
I agree. Memoir is a loophole. Like, Sheena got some loopholes out of hers.
The memoir.
Yeah. One of our Villa Rosa VIPs had a wonderful memoir title for Kyle, and I can't remember it. We talked about this. It was so good. I wish I could remember it, but it doesn't.
We probably already said everything that's in our mind last time, but I'm going to say it again if I already said it. Goodbye, Kyle. Hello, me.
Oh, I don't think you said that. That would be so wild if she gave Ken that huge win by making her memoir tell goodbye.
Yeah.
That would be big. But
I was thinking about how Sutton's tagline was like, I may live on a main road, but I don't remember the second part. But I'm like, that wasn't your line.
Yeah, right. It kind of goes into what we were talking about with trademarking on Salt Lake City. It's like, are you the recipient of something and it becomes yours if you're the victim of it? That's what Brittany was trying to do.
Right.
Goodbye, I love it. Goodbye, Kyle, hello, me. But what does it actually mean?
Hello, the new me.
Goodbye, Kyle, hello, the new me. It gets a little clunky, I gotta say.
Yeah, I think we could stick with hello, me.
Yeah, but then why is she saying
like,
goodbye?
Welcome to me.
Yeah, but why is she saying goodbye, Kyle? She's not saying goodbye to herself. I love it absolutely, but I'm just trying to be in the. Okay, well, let's sit on it. Villa Rosa VIPs, let us know again. This is the Kyle Richards Memoir Challenge. Whoever the Villa Rosa VIP was who said a good one, let us know. Okay, this is when Amanda. Go ahead.
I was thinking, I have a new tagline for Norman every week, and I came up with a mediocre one this week. That was, I was petting him, and I was like, you scratch my back and I'll scratch yours. I run this town.
That is awesome. Well, I love that one because I love obviously the play on where it's positive and negative or whatever. But then I also love that added on one where you really get it, bring it home, where it's like, I run this town. You know what I mean? That's like, I love the declarative statement at the end of a tagline. It's like, you didn't get it yet. That's wonderful.
It has to like zigzag.
Yeah, totally.
It leads in with one thing and then knocks it out with another.
Speaking of taglines, though, this Beverly Hills, these ones are horrible. Besides that main road, I'm a main character. Okay.
Shit.
Amanda, we liked you, but Bose it knows something might be wrong.
Bose knows
something might be wrong. So Bose goes, I want to take Amanda to dinner, and they have gluten-free calamari.
I've been to this place.
Gemma?
Yeah, it's in Hollywood. I think it's on Vine.
Whoa! Oh my God! This place, holy shit! This place has gluten-free calamari, like the Feast of Seven Fishes. And Amanda goes, I never get calamari. She goes, well, you got to order it here. And so that kind of sets them off on a fun sort of calamari related tangent for a minute. They start listing a bunch of fishes that they like. And then Amanda gives the detour, the download to Bose of the stuff that she does and how she got from counselor to money manifester.
Right. Yeah, I need to know more. I mean, I'm curious about how she has actually made her money, like realistically. I want a breakdown. She's sold a lot of books. That's one thing. But I want to know more. So
these courses. I know now the knives will be out, to quote Ryan Johnson, and I know that people will be doing some deep digging as soon as this episode airs. It already aired, right? It aired.
As of people listening to this.
Okay. We could be on the forefront. People will look into these, and I think I already can get I know that like scam and online courses and stuff, but like I paid for masterclass and stuff. Like I bought that James Patterson masterclass. I'm not really that skeptical of stuff like this. If people want to pay for a $500 course and they think they're going to make money, and if they like it enough and they do make money, that's obviously a win-win. But I think that we're going to get into who the hell is this person? This seems too abstract to be real, and you're taking people's money. So I know that's going to be the future for Amanda. I can tell.
Yeah, Bose is the front runner on that one. So Dorit joins them. She's talking about how when she met PK, he was actually broke after the 2008 collapse. And so they didn't even have a prenup because he didn't have shit when they first got together. And she was saying she was very hands off. He handled everything. He's currently still paying the mortgage, but who knows if he'll just stop at some point. He's just not updating her on what is not getting paid anymore. But all of the accounts and the mortgage and everything have her name on them. So when they went into pre-foreclosure, like that fucks up her credit and her financial record as well. So it's not like he's just fucking himself over. He's like fucking over the entire family.
She kind of admits that PK's finances are exactly what everyone assumed. He's like, he doesn't use banks. It's only spit shake deals like what Ken and Lisa do. And
no retirement accounts, potentially no investments.
We don't even know. We asked this last week. We don't even know what the hell he does. Boy George lives with him. He's a music manager. He's also works with online products. It's like, so Dorit is finally getting a taste of this elusive financial life that PK has led for 40 years.
Yeah, Dorit, you got to get a 401k, Roth IRA. Come on.
Oh yeah. Oh, she can get on E-Trade right now and put 10 to 15% of her her income from this show and start investing in a Roth IRA or a.
I bet Bose has bomb investments because she was on the corporate level at like
absolutely.
Uber and Netflix.
Oh my God. I couldn't even imagine. And they just do all that shit for you. Like
Yeah.
they just invest. I'm so bad. Like I'm like, oh God, I can't say more financially disturbing news on this thing. But let's just say that I'm more on the.
Vicky's gonna call you again.
Let's just say I'm more on the PK end of things. I just haven't ever been. I've just never been. No offense to me, but I've just never been wealthy enough to have any of this kind of stuff that people love.
You got to set it up where it just gets taken from you without your knowledge. Like at my corporate jobs for a decade, they just stole 6% from me and matched it for 10 years.
I had a corporate job for 3 years and they were doing that for me. But then after that, I was like, I just give $10 to Vanguard every month. And they're like, are you sure you don't want to pledge more? And I say, I am so sorry. No, I can't. And then Amanda goes into full money manifestor mode. She goes, hey, what does she goes, you need to, life after PK, you need to know who you are. And I didn't think this was that bad. She goes, you need to know you're a provider, or are you going to be what you want? And she's just kind of giving her very low level version of what she does to Dorit, but not like trying to be like, let's do it now. Like I'm giving you the full rundown, join my course. But I think Bo's already sort of kind of caught where the wind was blowing in terms of Amanda's job. And so she's immediately very skeptical because she's like, what is this weird garbage? I want 1 + 1 = 2. What kind of financial advice is this? But I say a little too early. Unless it comes out that Amanda's defrauding 1,000 people or something. But I'm not that skeptical of it. We like so much. What was the stuff that you said? Secret-esque, like manifesting, like everyone manifests other stuff and lights abundance candles, and we believe in the
Secret is pretty scammy, but
I don't know, I've never read it, but I'm just saying, like, we accept so much other stuff in our universe that why can't we be like, I need a new relationship with money, I need to visualize me on a big pile of cash.
Yeah, I mean, it did seem like a good first step of, she basically just said, you need to orient yourself and figure out how, like, what version of in charge you're going to need to be or whatever. Because it's like, it sounds like she just doesn't know what the fuck is going on. So it's like, first step, figure out what money is at play, what PK legally owes you, and figure out where to go from there.
Well, they need to just get, they need to get officially divorced, and then this process happens, right? I mean, they have to look at PK's finances. He has to, they have to set a certain amount of money, aside for each other, and they have to take care of the children. So who knows? But Bose says, that was weird and horrible what Amanda just did, and I can't wait to get to the bottom of this shit.
It was like a little weird that it felt like they were deferring to her as a lawyer or something. And then it's like, it was really, more just thought starters. And Bose was like, I'm not here for this frou-frou mess.
Yeah, and I bet Bose would probably give better advice about, money in this instance than what she's hearing from Amanda. So maybe that kind of made her question. It's like, what the hell kind of advice is this? Like, that's horrible. Dorit actually needs to know stuff here.
Right.
So who knows? But I wasn't ready to, I'm not ready to join. I don't know Amanda enough to be like, I liked her. I liked her this episode. I thought she was fun enough.
Yeah. I think she might be a wild card. Like, I'm hoping that she turns out to be nuts.
Right. They show in the trailer. They show some scenes, where she's like fighting with people, possibly Dorit, and then I think Dorit was on Watch What Happens Live and made some statement that her and Amanda might not be in a great place as of now, so leading to some turmoil.
So yeah, looking forward to Sedona. I'm stoked that they're kicking it off that quickly. Erica already has her Shrek boyfriend as of next week, so no wonder she didn't give a shit about the speed dating.
Oh, she didn't give a shit about Rick or Garib.
Sebastian.
Or Sebastian. They all like Sebastian. We didn't say that. They really like Sebastian. He was the one who really made them all. They all agreed they liked him. And I already told you about Sedona Slide Rock, that they're going to go down that big, slippery, slippery rock in Sedona. So I think that's going to be fun as well. All right. Let's sign off now. I think we should. Do you agree with that, Amy?
We must.
Let's do it. Part of the Turtle Time mission today was to bring you news and then recap 2 shows. I think that there is evidence that all 3 things have been completed.
It's true.
If we made you smile or presented a thought-provoking take, then all the better. But other than that, I think it's time to shut the door on the episode. And let's just say now, I don't think we should talk about all the ways that, we need to manifest money in our lives by the Patreon, Etsy, reviews. You all know it. You hear it all the time. We would love for you to do that, but I want to give you all a break for the holidays. You've got enough money shit to think about. Who cares about Turtle Time? Just send us a manifestation in your mind of us making a lot of money for 1 second, and that's it. I would love that.
Light an abundance candle for us.
That would be so sweet. But we love you all so much. I don't know how many episodes we have of the year. This year we got, of course, we have a lot more. Christmas is coming up. So we'll say our goodbyes to you for 2025 later next week. But we love you all. Amy, any closing thoughts that you want to leave with?
Money, money, money.
I agree with you. 2026 is the year of money, money, money. I can't wait. All right, goodbye.
Bye.